She always called herself a lover girl, even when the world made it hard to be one. In an industry fueled by ego, pride, and survival mode, Teyana Taylor tried to lead with softness. She admitted she'd been teased for it, mocked for giving too much, and even labeled an S for caring too deeply. But she didn't flinch. She wore the title proudly, even when her own pride nearly destroyed her more than once. That version of her, gentle, warm, vulnerable, was real. And it was the version people rarely got to see until everything around her started falling apart. She knew how to make someone feel safe. She knew how to be a shelter, a place that felt soft, warm, steady. And she wanted the same in return. She wanted reciprocity, not perfection. "I want this to be the softest place on earth for you," she once said, not as a line for a camera, but as a promise. It was the kind of promise that revealed who she was at the core, a woman who fought the world with love first, not with anger. But while she was building that emotional haven for others, the world around her was shifting. Fame has sharp edges, and one by one, those edges began cutting into her life. The public saw confidence and choreography and red carpet glamour. They didn't see the cracks forming behind the scenes or how much she held in to keep the image intact. It was easier for people to cheer for her victories than to understand her breaking points. Long before the tabloids, the courtrooms, and the leaked documents, Teyana Taylor was simply a hungry young artist who moved like she had something to prove. She danced with precision. She performed with fire. She modeled with a confidence that made people turn their heads. That raw magnetism caught the attention of one person who rarely missed talent, Kanye West. He didn't just see a promising act. He saw a creative mind that could shape sound, visuals, and culture. Joining good music wasn't just a career move. It was an initiation. Suddenly, she wasn't just an artist working in the background. She was contributing vocals, ideas, and energy to Kanye's own projects. And then came the moment that changed everything, the Fade music video. In seconds, she went from talent insiders whispered about to a global phenomenon. Her athleticism, her energy, her presence, everything about that moment screamed iconic. People who had never even heard her music suddenly knew her name. But not everything that shines translates into support. Inside the music machine, she often felt like she was being swallowed. Teyana had the vision, but the system didn't always give her room to execute it. She wasn't ungrateful, she was frustrated. Projects she believed in were pushed out with minimal care. Singles dropped without promotion. Albums got lost in the noise of bigger stars. She was part of a machine that celebrated her image but didn't always invest in her artistry. She felt overlooked, and that feeling hardened into something closer to exhaustion. In 2020, she made the decision that shocked fans. She stepped away from music entirely. It wasn't a tantrum, and it wasn't burnout. It was a boundary. She didn't want to keep pouring her soul into work that didn't get the protection or attention it deserved. She didn't want to keep sacrificing her mental health for an industry that demanded loyalty, but rarely returned it. She loved music, but she loved her peace more. She needed space, and she took it. The world almost forgot she was human, not a machine that endlessly performs. She was a mother with young children. She was a woman trying to hold together multiple roles: artist, wife, daughter, caretaker, while feeling unsupported by the people who were supposed to have her back professionally. Her decision to step back was controversial, but it was also the first sign of her reclaiming control. Her personal life didn't stay quiet for long. Her marriage to NBA star Iman Shumpert had been seen as a blueprint for a modern power couple. They had chemistry, they had humor, they had moments that looked effortless from the outside. Fans loved watching them raise their daughters together. Their family videos made people believe that celebrity relationships could survive the spotlight. That image shattered publicly when news of their divorce surfaced. No matter how amicable a breakup starts, fame has a way of twisting the narrative. Their split wasn't met with silence or privacy. It exploded across the internet. Headlines dissected timelines. Blogs speculated motives. Anonymous comments flew like arrows. What should have been a private unwinding of a marriage turned into entertainment for millions of strangers. But the real chaos began when the legal system entered the picture. Documents started circulating. Claims began popping up online. People thought they had access to the truth, but most of what they were reading was either incomplete or taken out of context. Teyana had to watch the world build a story about her in real time, and none of it reflected what she was actually living through. Then the moment came that pushed everything into overdrive. Teyana was seen publicly with actor Aaron Pierre. It wasn't a scandal on its own. She has every right to move forward with her life. But shortly after that appearance, something eerie happened. Sensitive court documents, ones that were supposed to remain sealed, suddenly leaked online. Pages filled with personal details, finances, private conversations, and legal notes began circulating. The timing was too sharp to ignore. She immediately spoke out. She clarified that no negotiated settlement had ever been signed. She noted that everything awarded to her had been given by the court. But the leak created a storm before her words even had time to settle. People questioned motives. They questioned timing. They questioned loyalty. And in Teyana's mind, the leak wasn't an accident. Someone wanted this information out. She responded the only way she could, legally. She filed a petition accusing Iman of leaking confidential information and requested a 20-day jail sentence and a fine, not to punish him as a father, but to set a boundary. She made it clear this wasn't about vengeance. It was about protecting her children and her peace. If she didn't defend her privacy, who would? The reaction was immediate. Iman's attorneys released statements denying everything. They insisted he had followed every court order. They said the accusations were unfounded, exaggerated, or misrepresented. And the internet, always hungry for drama, jumped into a frenzy. Fans started choosing sides like it was a championship game. Commentators speculated on podcasts. Entertainment sites crafted their own angles, each one more dramatic than the last. The public no longer cared about facts. They cared about entertainment. Teyana had to watch her name trend for reasons she never wanted. Her petition became fodder for people who didn't care about her mental health or her family. She was painted either as a strong woman setting boundaries or a vindictive ex trying to make headlines. The truth lived somewhere in the middle, and she was tired of having to explain herself. She didn't just push back on Iman, she pushed back against the entire narrative. She reminded people that she wasn't some gold digger using relationships for clout or resources. She's the one who bought her own tour bus. She's the one who replaced her damaged cars herself. She's the one who manages her career and raises her children without relying on anyone's wallet. She has built her success with discipline, sacrifice, and grit. She didn't want people to forget that. She also aimed her frustration at the media. She called out sites like TMZ and various entertainment blogs for twisting her statements into bait for clicks. They weren't interested in truth. They were interested in virality. They would take a sentence about her protecting her privacy and turn it into a headline about her attacking her ex. And even when she corrected them, the damage was already done. She was done allowing outsiders to weaponize her words. But through the noise, she held on to something bigger than the drama. Her comeback. 2025 wasn't just another year for Teyana. It became the year she re-emerged with intention. Her project Escape Room wasn't crafted as a typical music release. It was a declaration, an artistic exhale, a way of telling the world that she was done letting labels, relationships, and narratives define her. It channeled her journey, her heartbreaks, her healing, her fury, and her resilience. Fans immediately understood that it meant more than an album. It was a turning point, and she didn't stop there. She stepped deeper into acting, taking roles that allowed her to explore new versions of herself. She wasn't letting any one industry box her in again. Film, music, fashion, she was creating her own universe. Reinvention wasn't just a career move, it was survival. It was her way of reclaiming the narrative after years of being spoken over. But even as she rebuilt, the questions didn't fade. People continued watching her relationship with Aaron Pierre like it was a live show. Every appearance, every photo, every caption became a clue for internet detectives trying to figure out the real story. Could she move forward romantically while her past continued to shadow her? Could she keep her family protected while headlines twisted every step she took? Could she keep her peace when the world kept trying to provoke her? The timing of the leaked documents still haunts conversations. Some believe it was coincidence. Others think it was retaliation. Some argue it was sabotage disguised as a slip-up. And the truth? The truth is buried under layers of speculation that will probably never be fully cleared. What people forget is that behind the legal filings, the drama, and the speculation, there's a woman trying to survive fame without losing herself in the process. Teyana Taylor is navigating a world where every mistake becomes a meme, every disagreement becomes a headline, and every heartbreak becomes a public debate. She isn't allowed silence. She isn't allowed privacy. She isn't allowed to heal without someone questioning her motives. Yet she keeps moving forward, yet she keeps working, she keeps parenting, she keeps creating. She keeps fighting for her happiness. Her journey isn't the neat, glamorous celebrity story people want it to be. It's messy, it's layered, it's full of contradictions and emotional landmines, but it's real. And while people argue online about whether she was right or wrong, whether she was justified or emotional, whether she's rebuilding or rebounding, she quietly continues shaping her next chapter. Her rise under Kanye, her struggles with her label, her marriage, her divorce, the leaked documents, the rumors, the public scrutiny, every moment has tested her. But every test has also sharpened her. She's no longer the artist waiting for validation from the industry. She's no longer the woman trying to prove she can keep a marriage together under the weight of fame. She's no longer the performer trying to fit into a system that didn't protect her. She's building something on her own terms. The world watches her now not because of a music video or a viral moment or a headline about her personal life, but because she has become a symbol of resilience. People don't just want updates. They want to see how she'll rewrite her story. They want to see whether she can walk through the chaos and come out untouched. They want to know if she can find peace when the past keeps trying to drag her back. And that's the real tension shaping her narrative. Can she protect her privacy in a world obsessed with exposure? Can she keep her children shielded from a storm they never asked to be part of? Can she maintain control over her image while fighting legal battles and rebuilding her career? Can she truly move forward when every step is documented, dissected, and debated? Teyana Taylor isn't just surviving the spotlight anymore. She's challenging it. She's showing that public scrutiny might bend you, but it doesn't have to break you. She's proving that reinvention is possible even when your past tries to claw its way into your present. She's reminding the world that strength doesn't always look like aggression. Sometimes it looks like soft resilience, like choosing peace over chaos, like walking away from what hurts instead of making a scene. Her story is far from over. In fact, she's just getting started. And as the world waits to see what happens next, one thing is clear. Whatever comes, she'll meet it with the same fire, grace, and stubborn determination that's carried her through every storm so far.